All right. I guess we are back or so. Let me start this one. Let me start the music again and hope that we don't crash when we open that dump. Otherwise, that's anticlimactic. Restore previous session. All right. And yeah, perfect. Or almost perfect. So let's open that shitty tool again. Don't say that. At this point, actually, I'm not so sad anymore if it completely bricks my GPU, because then I have a reason to buy an Nvidia card again. Which sounds messed up. It is messed up, but I have so many like I thought in 2025 we are basically at a point where AMD caught up to Nvidia, but I have only problems with it. So this is one, like the developer experience is like worse than on Nvidia. And as well, I can show it actually. If you open the, first of all, the developer, like the tool takes forever to start. And then if you go to, is it record or stream settings? Oh, where is it? Whatever, wherever you enable the, here, the noise suppression, I cannot enable that. It always, I click enable, it processes and then it disables it itself again. And it, every time I update the software to a new version, it works for a day and then it just stops working again. So it's like, and Nvidia just has the open broadcast thing, or what it's called. No, not open broadcast. What is the Nvidia tool called for the noise suppression? But I never had problems with that in the past. It's insane. How hard can it be? I thought we are past that point where... Why is that only a text document? What? Is that all? What? Wait. No, please. No. That can't be everything. Okay, no, there is a file. How do I open that? And why does it not want to open it with that one? Okay, we will try something. We open it. Radeon R. So the file extension is RGD. So I would assume we open it with RGD, right? Or is it GPU analyzer? Well, that didn't work. Okay, but we have a command buffer. Okay, that in progress, shader in flight. Okay. So those are... Okay. Hardware crash analysis was not enabled. Yeah, it has to be in one of them that it crashes, but it's like... I mean, it's almost useless, this file. and I have no idea. Okay, let's Google it, how I open that. You are kidding me. So this RGD file, really? This RGD file, I mean, it's an AI, so take it with a grain of salt. But this RGD file, you feed into the RGD exe, and all it does, it creates a JSON, which is the thing we look at. That is unreal. Yeah, I am sorry. I have to probably look at the Office with the NVIDIA card edit, because that actually already gave me more information without the shaders. Well, I got it for free. What can I say? And I would not buy it again. I would not buy an AMD card ever again, I think. Only had bad experience with it. As I said, like, noise suppression doesn't work. The suite is like super slow. Always. Sometimes it doesn't even boot at all. It's bizarre. Again, I thought we were in 2025 and we are past that point, but it seems like they still manage to not get their shit together. So yeah, if I wouldn't have gotten it for free, then I probably wouldn't even have a new PC, so whatever. Alright, what do we do instead then? Because that's a bit sad. Well, it was a gift for finishing the project at Ubisoft. So, I mean, I could have not taken that, but why would you not take a free graphics card, like top of the... What do you say? How do you say it? Like, top notch or like latest version graphics card. You know what? We will do something else instead for the last 20 minutes. Well, actually, the shader... Right, let's finish the shader cache stuff, right? Make that proper. Yeah, don't get me started on the inter ones. Those are even worse, which is hard. So, okay, shader compiler. So I want to make that proper. So let's go here. Let's do a shader language. Enum. GLSR. HLSR. Islam. Just kidding, but maybe. Nah, let's not do that. Let's make it like that. Otherwise people might think we actually plan to support that, which I'm not sure if we want to. Okay, so then I want to change this to that because it doesn't need to be full on thing with the static functions. Let's remove that. So we take the shader stage and shader language. Oh, although, hold on, maybe that would have been a good part where a class would have made sense. Because we could have a GLSL shader compiler extend, like inherited. Do you have an AMD Founder Edition card or third-party card? Or I can show you which one I have. Well, AMD. I have this bundle. What? Where is it? Why did that not work? Yeah. I have this one. So basically they gifted me a limited edition graphics card and CPU. Well, the CPU is not limited edition, but the graphics card is limited edition. So, yeah. I would assume at that point that it's probably a Founder Edition, but I'm not so experienced with what those terms mean. But as it's coming from AMD and the limited edition, I would assume it's a Founder Edition. And third party means like some other company built it. I have the forbidden card. I don't know. What does that mean? Why forbidden? Actually, let's revert a couple of things here. If hardware is limited edition, it's made to sit in closet. Ah, okay. Yeah, I was thinking about that, but then I was like, I probably won't sell it anyways. So, oh, and I mean, or you mean like it's made like bad in terms of quality? That might be as well. True, I guess, if that was what you implied. Actually, I have a better idea. No, no, you don't need to apologize for that. You know, there is a reason why I left Ubisoft. So, it was twofold why I left Ubisoft. One was I wanted to get back to family, closer back to my family, right? Because I was living abroad for 8 years or more, maybe. And the other part was I was just not agreeing with, yeah, the vision of the company, more or less. It was really feeling like they prioritize, I mean, as every company, right? They prioritize shares above the product. Again, that's not Ubisoft specific, right? It's like any big company that is basically in like the stock market. It kind of is the same for them. So yeah. Yeah, that's true a little bit, I guess, with the AI. But I would say in the games business, so far, AI is kind of limited because people usually don't. I mean, at least in the AAA, when I left at Ubisoft, AI was not really a thing or a thought of. And I would say at my current company, it's just were not really considered an option, I would say. But yeah, let's see how that changes, right? In the next couple of years, maybe. I don't think months, but years is likely. Especially, I'm a little bit afraid about. So I think those I can have here. I'm especially a little bit afraid about the artists because I think those are already worse off right now. And they have already, I think, problems. In our company, we are switching from our own OS and stack to Android. Since I want to continue writing C++, while currently maintaining legacy code, kind of bored and thinking that I have no choice. Okay. Is there? I mean, I know that Android itself is like like high level in Java, and Kotlin, I think, is the other language, right? But isn't there no C++ at all that you could take over? I can't imagine that there is nothing C++ related. Somehow that sounds kind of weird. But I mean, maybe. So I think that should all be fine. That is all Spur V stuff, so... That should be language independent, and then we have here the GLSL compiler. Android allows for native C++ development. Yeah, that's what I thought, right? Because I mean, some games that I worked on very long time ago, they were in C++. I think we only had a thin... We might have had a thin wrapper that somehow, like as an entry point into our game. But maybe I'm misremembering that and confusing that with iOS, where we had the Objective-C entry point and then went to C++ from there. Maybe I'm mixing those up. I can't remember. There is, but there is very little... Ah, okay. I can understand that. In terms of game programming, I'm myself as well more of a systems programmer, I would say. Like between like engine and system, it always depends a little bit on the company, but I would consider myself more an engine programmer than not graphics programming, right? That's something different. And I have some experience from this project and from working at Ubisoft, and I was technically a graphics programmer at Ubisoft at the end. But, or like job title wise, I was a graphics programmer and I did some graphics programming there and debugging and stuff like that. But I think my strengths are more closer to the engine side, like normal C++ and not shader related. The plan was to learn more shader stuff there, which I did. So that kind of worked out. Let's actually do that. Let's keep that. Give the shader language here. Then implement that. Then we switch on the language. I mean, basically all others are basically unimplemented currently. It's like that, right? So those are all Onyx assert force shader compiler not implemented for language. And here we do glsl compile. All right. That should do it. And then we have here this. And we do that. And we do... Actually, let's not do that. We can then basically take that. Put that here. Get rid of that. So that is here glsl, right? And that here is glsl. No, hold on. Shader binary. Do we care? We might care where it's coming from, right? So we could do that slash glsl. So that's temp, that's that. And then here we basically split on the stage. And then the name. So it's that, glsl, stage, that. Let's actually do it the other way around. I think it makes more sense. Now we need to create the same thing. So here, that one is just Does that work? That's very sus. Oh, okay, we return a string, never mind. And it's not so sus. Or can I maybe do is there maybe an enum magic enum lowercase? I don't know. That would be nice. Unfortunate. It seems like it's not. I will close the window. Give me a second. Don't want any mosquitoes coming in. Alright, well, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Guess we can do the string here, it's a minor thing. So we need this and this directory, right? But for the binary we need more? Because we need each stage as well. So probably we need to do 4 each. Vertex. Stage less than. Man, I don't know how to do a for loop today. No, it's greater, right? That's the exit condition. Yeah. Right? Man. I am brain dead today. Everything fails me. I don't even think which file I want to go. Terrain system, maybe. Okay, yeah, no, it was like that. My memory was right at this beginning. I don't know. Not my day today. Already quite tired. I think all. Yeah. Because that doesn't include that one, so it's fine. And then stage plus plus. And then we create all of them. So it's yeah, first stage, then enums toString stage. But I would want actually I would want that as a lowercase. Okay. Perfect. And then here we do again const express string view. Nah, it doesn't matter. We have it here. Oh no, it is. Where? In my engine it is. I added an overload as long as it's a typed enum. But it has to be an enum, right? You cannot do it with an int or something like that. Or like, yeah, it needs to be an enum class. And then you can do it. And it, yeah, casts it to the underlying type, does the increment and returns it. Because I think it's kind like that is like the one thing that I oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. Let's call it S. I have no idea. Because the nice thing for me about enum classes is, right, that you don't get the explicit conversion from int, which is fine, and that I want. But like some convenience like that is kind of sad that it doesn't support out of the box, right? So I think I've overloaded that one as well. Or is that maybe implicit? I'm not sure. That might be automatic there, actually. Never mind, I think that one, like the less than you have. But yeah, you don't have a plus and minus. So yeah, I wanted to have that because I think it makes sense. Which argument is now the... Oh yeah, here, so... Shader language GLSR. And I as well have the, you know, the enums to string, which is using magic enum, which I can only recommend. It's amazing. Unless, until we have C++ 26, then we probably don't need it anymore. Hopefully. But yeah, I have that from string, and then I have as well to integral, which is basically converting to the underlying type, right? So if you ever want to have it as an uint8 int or whatever, I have that helper function as well, just to wrap around this thing. Oh yeah, we are running and we are again connected. Great, thank you for that. Well, I probably wanted to have the shaders rebuilt, if I would have to guess. So let's clear that. And yeah, we cannot crash because otherwise my PC is completely dying again, and the Radeon tool is anyways useless. It offers exactly 0. Wait, did I not? I might have not done that. Hold on. Okay, so we have compute fragment vertex, beautiful. And now we have GLSL, which is kinda empty, unfortunately. So probably we did something wrong there. And that is empty as well. Why is my PC like going crazy? Oh, is it because of the 21 tabs? Is that really it? Please, calm down. All good. It's like going to the moon next to me. Which tab is using so much? Why is it like hogging 1 gig of memory for 7 tabs? That's insane. Browsers. I swear something I despise if I wouldn't have to use it. Alright, so why does it not work? We have this, which is shader spin. And then we go to stage string, which is wrong. Yes, stage extension string. Or do we need that? Or is it this one, right? What? Oh, it was just stage, right? We probably could just do that, right? And then we do here as well. Or not like that, but we do it like this. And we do the same thing, basically. Yeah, why not? So we basically do the same thing here as well. So let's actually do that for each shader stage. Okay, well, we do it 2 times, I guess. It's not the perfect thing, but whatever. In theory, we should probably... Alright, let's do it. Let's do this one. And then... Alright. I got lost a little bit. But we basically do that. And we do it like that now because it doesn't really matter anyways. Because we checked before for the directory exists, but we do it here as well. So we can just do all of them. And then we basically have that a little bit cleaner, I guess. Not sure how I would want to detect if I need to clean up that directory, because that's a little bit not so straightforward, right? Because we have the shader cache, so we are not compiling them all the time. So the question is, when do we clean out a shader source? That's not so straightforward. Because just because it's not loaded at this time doesn't mean we can. I mean, it's the same thing with the shader cache, right? Currently, I don't delete anything here. I think. I might delete it if I detect that it changed. That I might do, but if it's just not loaded anymore, I don't delete it. So yeah, that's a little bit of issue. Oh yeah, did we create everything? So we have the cache here. And then we have fragment GLSR. Perfect. Compute GLSR. Perfect. Vertex GLSR. Beautiful. And then we have the source. Like that for compute. Fragment. Vertex. Awesome. That's very, very clean, I would say. Again, I need to evaluate how I want. I think in Ubisoft it didn't clean as well. You had to manually clean it. It just accumulated. Because it's really hard to know when a shader is kind of not needed anymore. And this is only for development anyways. This is not something we ship with the game. Alright. At least we did that today. Encore dentist. Did you make an oopsie or what? Well, I hope you're fine. I hope everything is okay. As good as it can be if you have to do that. I don't know. How do you crash your GPU? Easy. You just, for example, read out of a buffer address. Piece of bread got lodged into my gum. Ow. Yeah, that is painful. Show him? No. Well, I mean, I wanted to turn off the stream, so I might as well show him. So I will say my goodbyes. And then we will crash it. But let's disable the stupid thing that even crashes it even harder. Because with that one we might recover if we don't crash completely. Well, it is a driver crash, yeah. It is a driver crash. But it's called a GPU crash, right? I mean, at least in the gaming industry, it's always called a GPU crash, GPU dump. But yeah, in reality, it's a driver crash. If you are very very specific about it. But the outcome is kind of the same. But if your driver crashes, the lights go out on your PC. More or less. I mean, yeah, you don't have window output anymore. Monitor output. So yeah, before I click the Doom button, because we might not recover, thank you very much for joining. There will be no stream tomorrow because I have a company event in the evening. So we will be back most likely Saturday. In kernel world, it's also called GPU crash. Yeah, because I mean, that's basically what it is. I mean, the detail that it's the driver that crashes doesn't really matter. Because you did something to make it crash, right? So it's, I mean, it doesn't really change the fact that, I mean, most of the time it's you that fucked up. There's very rare cases. It can happen. I think in Ubisoft we had a couple of cases where it was actually a driver issue. But that only happens if you do some cutting edge stuff. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for joining. We will shut down the stream with a nice crash of the GPU again. And yeah, there's no stream tomorrow. There will be a stream on Saturday, Sunday again. Hopefully I have time tomorrow at work to look at this crash with NVIDIA Inside. Aftermath, to name the full program, because Inside is just the graphics debugger. And Aftermath is the GPU analyzer, the GPU crash analyzer. Yeah, see you on Saturday. Have a nice Friday. And yeah, as always, thank you for joining. I really appreciate that lately a lot of people join for the stream. I think it's as well a little bit more engaging now again that we do actual work on the graphics stuff again and not low level shenanigans that we did before with what was it? Not localization, but something else that was kind of boring. I think some editor stuff that was not really engaging. So yeah. And I want to get that out of the way, the terrain. It's really fun and the main reason I started on this whole engine. Otherwise, where I want to do some other graphic stuff and game related stuff. Yes, enough blabbling and rambling. Thank you, thank you. Velor, if you want, you can join the Discord as well. You don't have to, of course. Just saying it here. If you want, you can. If you don't have Discord, don't want to join, that's fine as well. But yeah, thank you for the help once again. And yeah, have a nice Friday. See you on Saturday, hopefully. Bye bye, and let's crash. There we go. Oh, we didn't end the stream. Unfortunate. The stream didn't. The stream survived it. Alright, so I have to manually turn it off. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a nice night. Bye bye.